speaks volumes to those kids and the hard work that they've put in to get to that point. Their youth league coaches, their parents for doing all the things they had to do to play against the best competition growing up. And then how lucky we were to get to coach them for a few years, Destiny for 1 and Chelsea for 4. And then with Ari McDonald too, seeing her go in the draft is rewarding. I remember sitting in her home as well. So to have those 3 kids get to fulfill their lifelong dream and our 2 Razorbacks to go in the top 15, just really excited for them and the anxious moments for them leading into it. And to be able to see Chelsea's excitement live and Destiny's on TV. That's one of the many whys that we coach for days like today.
All right, we'll go ahead and start taking questions. If your video is off, either please hit me in the chat or use the raise hand function. Paul, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Yeah, just I know you were there with Chelsea and her family. Just tell me some thoughts going through your head when you hear that name announced.
We had a little bit of a heads up that it was coming just to get ready for things and all that. So they had no clue. The pick right before was a little bit of a surprise of the draft. And there was kind of a little, I wonder what that meant, And so, just to see that build up and the excitement, all the preparation, and for her to have the people there that have been there for her entire life, genuine joy. You can just see it in their reaction. So when it's coming, you start to watch reactions rather than the TV. So I'll be excited to go back and actually watch the TV broadcast because I was watching hers and her mom and her grandparents and former, coaches and teammates. So it's a lot of fun to be in that room, and then to see Destiny with her family on the live feed. That's excitement's genuine. It's not fake. It's genuine joy and excitement for them to be able to go into this next little phase of their life. So rewarding as a coach because we're 1/1,000,000th of part of it, but it's fun to be that 1/1,000,000th of a part of all their success in the past. And now I can step back and watch other people coach them and just cheer for them. Second guess them and, wonder why they're not shooting as enough or they're not running plays for them. So it'll be fun.
Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, just with Destiny or Chelsea talked before the season started just about, losing weight and how hard she worked. It particularly rewarding to see it pay off the way it did with her draft choice.
Yeah. It was a body of work. It was, those people that are doing the evaluations are looking at lots of things, nothing more important than how they impact the game. A lot of the conversations we had with some of the WNBA evaluators were, well, can she do this or can she do that? Or, she seemed to do, I said, guys, here's let me tell you this. She does exactly what you tell her to. If there were times you thought she should have passed, it's probably because we told her not to. Or if we cleared out a side to attack until she found a shot or a foul, that was because we told her to do that. She is a kid that really can impact it. So for it to come full circle and be drafted in this draft class that high, that goes back to how hard that kid worked. She was not a top 5 kid in her class coming out of high school, and she wasn't a top 50. She wasn't a top. It's a really cool story for a lot of little girls. Those girls across the state that have worn her jersey, and she can really be something that a lot of people look up to. Wasn't a McDonald's All-American. All of those things to end up a draft pick in the top 5. That's maybe of all the accolades, that might be that crowning jewel.
Thank you.
You got it.
Does anyone else have a question? I don't see any hands raised or messages in the chat. Paul, you got another one?
Sure. Just I talked to one of the GMs and I asked her about preparation, how playing in your system and your program had prepared her. Can you speak to that a little bit? Just how you feel like that you prepared these kids?
Well, I do think part of what we do is get them ready for that level by putting them in position to make decisions. That's what that league is all about, decision making, and being able to guard multiple spots. That's why we had Chelsea having to guard the 4-player lot. Obviously, we try to win as many games as we can here at that level, but exposing them to it, letting them grow their game and play to their strengths, I do think that translates. And we've got a few kids now that have made that transition, and I hope it becomes a staple that those people can look at what we do and know that they're going to be as ready as they can be. It's a huge jump. It doesn't matter how much we prepare. She's got a big jump next week when she shows up in training camp, and she knows it. But I do know that she's not going to be put into any situations that she hasn't at least seen before, and hasn't been exposed to. She's going to have some learning curves, just like every other rookie does. But I know she'll go in there with a little bit of confidence because she has been put in those situations over the last 4 years.
I would also ask, the fact that Slocum went 14. I mean, how good a chance do you feel like she has of making a roster? I mean,
well, specifically to the Aces, if you look at their cap, they've got a lot of great players, and I think they need a rookie on their cap. So I have not looked at it deep enough to know who else the Aces selected, but they were one of those teams that we had really highlighted as a team that could use a rookie on their contract. And y'all have done a great job of covering it this year on how difficult it is to make one of these teams, because of the way those rules are written. There's some teams that won't even carry 12 kids because of their salary cap and injuries. So she's in a favorable spot, and she knows. The last conversation I had with her before she left town was she probably knew more about the WNBA draft than anybody I've ever seen. She had studied it. So she'll go in there. Now that she knows specifically where she's at, and she's also got somebody down there that she can pick the phone up and call. I've already texted with Plum a little bit, and Plum will be there to take care of her and show her the ropes. So I have checked the calendars, July the 11th in Dallas, and I think June the 13th in Vegas. So we'll flip a coin later to see which one I decide to go to, but my money's on the one going to Vegas.
We'll go to Nick from Pig Trail, and then we'll go to Hayden.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned having 2 Razorbacks go into the top 15 and how you're going to be rooting for these girls. But how do they that impact your program in the future that you have 2 top 15 selections?
Well, I think it's why we're going to have, future McDonald's All-Americans calling it. When we got 3 coming in next year, we'll have 3 on the floor together. That's how it impacts you. It impacts future kids. They see kids come here and play and realize their dreams. This just is another one of those bullet points of information that you can come here and play in this league. You're going to be as prepared. The SEC will prepare you. We will put you in situations that allow you to be yourself and play to your strengths. And not every kid has WNBA dreams, but a lot of the ones we're recruiting do. So having actual evidence, not just talk. There's a lot of people that can talk about it but may not have the facts up. It's easy just to point out, here's 2 in this one class that played together. There's plenty of shots to go around for everybody. There's evidence to sell that, and it's not just talk anymore. So we'll use that, and that's the key to keeping the momentum of that going. And then also now that's 2 more resources for our future kids to be able to reach out and talk to. How did you do it? Tell us about your journey. Tell us some things that will help us along on our journey. So gives us not just 2 pictures in the locker room, in the team room or around our offices, but 2 physical, breathing, talking human beings that they can text with and FaceTime with, and whatever that TikTok thing is. I don't know if they can actually talk on that, but whatever they're doing, there's another resource for them to lean on.
Hayden, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, that was actually kind of going to be my question about recruiting and how do you turn this into the next group of kids. But personally, I just kind of want to know, as a guy from the state and see two Razorbacks taken, where does this stack up personally for you? Is how proud you are of a group of kids or just a couple of them? And second, just a personal one real quick, where in the world did you get that hoodie? Why did you decide to wear that on ESPN tonight? And how do I get my hands on that?
Chelsea signed with Jordan Brand early on. So I made a phone call to somebody I know out there and said, hey, I'm probably going to be on. I need something to represent the brand. So they sent this to me. And if you saw the shoes that Bowen was wearing, those black and gold Jordan high tops on the broadcast, I don't have enough swag to pull this off myself. So actually, I think JC, my girlfriend, actually picked this one out, so she gets credit for that one. But as far as where it stacks up, they're all unique and they're all different. But this one's really, really special because of the way these kids came to us. Again, I know I've beaten it over the head, but Chelsea could have gone anywhere in the country when she left Oklahoma. She was going. I mean, she was getting ready to get on a plane and go to Florida State and Ohio State on her visit here if we hadn't closed the deal. So for her to believe in us when she had no reason to, I mean, all we were doing is, giving them recruiting pitch. There was no physical evidence out there that she should choose us, and she did. And then for Slocum to have, gone and been also, I think she was considered the #1 transfer last year, to have the confidence to come here and play her last year, knowing that she wasn't going to have a lot of time to learn a new system or adapt. She felt comfortable knowing that we would allow her to play her game. So those will be the most memorable things about how they came to us. And hey, I remember all these. I've only been a head coach for 8 years, but this is our 6th kid to be drafted. And every one of them are special. I've got a little shelf on my house that we'll have to make some room for after tonight. It's got to double in size after one draft. So, and hopefully it's a thing that, again, like I say, we can keep adding to and learn from. We've made some mistakes and we've along the way of getting kids prepared and ready. And it just gives us more opportunities to learn from them and make our future Razorbacks even better. And I think we've got a few coming in here that, we could be doing this again next year and for years to come.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else for Coach? Oh, hey, you got another one?
No, I'm good. Saying thank you, sir. My wife dresses me too, so I'm with you.
Believe me, I learned a long time ago that what I think is cool and what is are two different things.
Well, actually, sorry to butt in. If anyone else, I'll stop talking. But as much as your system too, the pro style system of not just the brand and everything, but how much of a recruiting pitch is that at the same time as how big tonight is?
Well, I hope we have to continue to talk less and less about it, and we can just show them. We can say, hey, this is how it translates. It translates into this. And we can still say, there's things we can continue to do to get better, but the video will sell itself. Again, I think the last picture I saw, Chelsea had like 185,000 likes or something, whatever that means. So, that just goes and just continues to trickle down. My phone, I think I have as many messages tonight as we did after we beat UConn. So that means there's a lot of people watching the draft. It's a great year for women's basketball. Maybe this is the end of it, as we get ready to go into the next year. The draft kind of wraps it up. So for us to be a part of that I haven't seen how the rest of the draft went. I stopped watching after Destiny got picked. So I'm interested to go see where everybody else went and see how it all plays out now that these camps get started up.
Yeah, Russell, go ahead.
How big is it for Chelsea to, get selected by Dallas and play that close to home with a bunch of Razorback fans down in the metro area down there?
Well, we're to know that drive down there. I hope it stays. I know there's been a lot of talk about trades, but I didn't see what happened all the way till the end. But I'd love for it to be that short of a distance and that easy of a drive. We've always gone down there and supported them just because it is our closest team. So there'll be a lot of rush for Dallas wings jerseys tomorrow, I'm sure. And then when we all get down there, there'll be a few hog calls down there. I can't imagine. I think it's fun for her and Charlie to both be close to home. And if I saw right, maybe Dana Evans got picked there late too. So, it's going to be a young team, an exciting team. And I hope they open up training camp. I haven't heard whether their training camps are going to be open, but sometimes we get to go down and watch those. So short drive is a bonus, Russell, for sure. We'll get a Spirit bus up and go down there and make it a road trip too.